Hey everybody, this is Nora and you're watching Nori Lori's Keto and Health. Today I am going to get very intimate and share my weight and health journey with you and how I lost over 70 pounds doing the Whole30 in the ketogenic diet and what made me decide to make these changes and how I did it and what I'm going to do going forwards. So if you are curious to know how I did this, let's dive into this. So, as with any journey, that first step is the most important step. It's what spurs you into this new lifestyle, to start this journey. I like to call that the why, the reason behind your actions. So, for some people, it's going to be their weight, and others, it's going to be health. And then, yet, for other people, it's going to be the combination of the both, the weight and the health. For me, personally, it was not my weight. Now, don't get me wrong, I was morbidly obese at 293 pounds. That's what I started at. But it was actually my health that got me going on my journey. So I had some really interesting things going on that me and the doctor really didn't understand why they were going on. So I wasn't diagnosed with anything like diabetes or high blood pressure or anything like that. But I did have severe edema in my feet and my ankles. So like when I would get to the end of my workday and I would go home and relax and put my ankles up, my feet literally looked like bricks on the end of my legs. They were huge. I actually took a picture of it one time just so I could compare my feet before this journey and what they looked like going into my journey. And they were pretty big. I was also having daily headaches. So I was taking ibuprofen and Tylenol daily for my headaches. I'm sure my liver was not in great shape. And not only was I taking the pain medication every day, I also sometimes would take caffeine, like a soda or chocolate, and try to push it just to kind of help the Tylenol or the ibuprofen work on the headache a little bit faster. I also had adrenal fatigue. So my arms and my legs would feel like lead. So simple actions like brushing my hair, brushing my teeth, taking a shower, cooking, I would feel like I was running a marathon. Cooking alone, if I could sit down and prep my food, I would, because I was going to have to sit down in the middle of my food prep anyway, just so I could rest a minute to finish up what I was doing. So with cooking, I'd have to sit down, I'd get up, check my food, stir, whatever. Then I'd have to sit down again because I was already so tired. So I did have some of these type of issues going on. And that is what spurred me into this change. All right. So before I go any further in my story, I know y'all are probably interested in seeing a before picture and what I look like now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to insert that now. So next, we're going to talk about how did I make these changes. I actually started out doing the Whole30. I had stumbled across it, and the Whole30 is just an elimination diet. You're eliminating 5 inflammatory foods from your diet, and it's really simple. You only do it for 30 days. Who can I give up some things for 30 days? And then you have a reintroduction period after that, and you reintroduce one food at a time and see what kind of reaction your body has to that food. I love that because it was getting me in control of my body. I had control of knowing what type of things was causing what type of reactions. And sometimes, we just get so sick that we don't realize that some of the things that goes on in our daily lives is not normal. Like our taste buds should not be desensitized. But you'll find out that when you start to eliminate some of these foods and you start on the ketogenic diet, you're going to find out your taste buds change dramatically. And it isn't that they changed, they're just becoming less desensitized. You'll find out that your energy changes. But like back to the Whole30, and one of the things that I liked about it the most is they would explain what to expect each week And you kind of knew that you wasn't going to have any major energy until about week 3, 2 to 3 weeks. For me, end of week 3, I felt great. I actually felt so good, and I lost 23 pounds that first month that I did the whole 30, that I decided that I would continue doing the whole 30. And as I was doing that, I started researching things on diabetes, and I stumbled across the ketogenic diet. And I thought, well, that diet really isn't too much different than what I'm already doing. Obviously, I'm going to have to eliminate like my sweet potatoes and things like that. But I really didn't have to eliminate a lot. So I just kind of slid into the ketogenic diet. My carbs were already really low. I think they were around 30 to 25. And so going down to 20 was no problem at all. I was already eating whole foods from the Whole 30 diet. I wasn't going out and buying processed foods that might be compliant. So the weight just kept sliding off like butter, like literally like butter. And I felt great. And so I made a couple of goals for myself. And one of my first goals was I wanted to look good in a wedding dress. And I achieved that. I had actually lost 73 pounds by the time of my wedding. So I started this in September, and I got married in May. So I'm going to show you a picture of what I looked like in that wedding dress. All right, so I was quite happy the way I looked in my wedding dress. I had worked very hard for that, and I had lost up to like 73 pounds at that point. But here's the kicker, because here comes the struggle. After the wedding, we had our honeymoon, and we went to Yellowstone. And the idea was I was going to stay keto as much as possible. And then I wanted to try things like elk sausage and bison ground beef that was in the chili. And I don't know if they added sugar to those type of dishes or not. So I was like, well, that's okay. Because if I gain a little bit of weight, it's okay. I can take it back off, no problem. That is a very dangerous mindset for me. Some people may do really well. I did not. After at that point, I had fallen off the bandwagon, as we call it. We should call it off plan. And I started eating terribly. And I felt terrible. And I gained back almost all my weight. I got up to 286. So almost all my weight. Because my mindset was, I can start it tomorrow. But today, I'm going to binge eat. I had very poor coping skills. Food was my coping skill. And that is the one thing that I love about the ketogenic diet. You start to learn these things about yourself. So I was having a lot of work stress at the time, and I ate my way through it. I mean, that's just the honest truth about it. I would eat my way through it. I would be like, it's okay. I'm going to start tomorrow. The next day, I would bring my meal. I'd go to the park so that I could eat outside on my hour lunch. And on the way, I'd just turn into Sonic. He's like, it's okay. I'll eat this way today, because tomorrow I'm going to start. And that ended up being a very dangerous mindset for me. So I finally did get strict again, and I lost like 20 pounds. And then the stress kind of went back up again at work, and I gained weight again. And then I finally said, that's it. I don't feel good. I don't look good in my professional dress clothes, because that's what I had to wear at my job at that time. And I lost down to about 250. I was bouncing between 245 and 250. And then Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2019 came up, and I was like, we're just going to have really big dinners, and I'm going to add ketogenic food that I can have, and I'm not going to cheat. It's not going to become a cheat day for me, which worked out great. I didn't lose weight, but I didn't gain weight. I was kind of bouncing back and forth between those same 5 pounds. So I found out that artificial sweeteners does not help me lose weight. It is going to be a good maintenance when I get to that point. But for as far as losing weight, I can't do those perfect keto bars. I have to be sparing on my Rebel ice cream. It does make me gain some water weight, but I know that now. So the most important thing is through my struggles and learning the hard way, I found out what's conducive to myself, what helps me, what doesn't. So that helped me formulate my new plan. So let's talk about that. All right. So what am I going to do to continue to lose the rest of the 60 plus pounds that I need to lose? It's going to be a lot of macro counting. I don't like to count my macros. I don't like tracking. I didn't do that in the beginning of my journey. When the weight was coming off like butter, I didn't have to track. But now that it's slowed down because I'm getting closer to my goal weight, tracking has become very, very important to me. I want to make sure that I hit that protein. And I walk 5 days out of the week. So those days, if I go a little over my protein, I'm not worried about it. I want to make sure that I'm 20 grams, net grams or under. I'm still losing weight doing net grams. I don't have to do total carbs. So I want to make sure that I'm 20 or under. Now, when it comes to my fat macros, I want to make sure that I am under. I do not want to meet my fat macros because when I do that, I lose incredibly slow. We're talking ounces. Because your body prefers to use dietary fat before it takes it off in your body. And I'm all in the business of taking it off my body. So I try to keep most of my fat macros coming from my protein that I eat. Maybe a little bit of butter on some vegetables just for taste, because I wanted to tap into my potential energy on my body. So those are important. The other thing that I do to do my continuous weight loss is intermittent fasting. I fast every day at least 18 hours. Most days it's 20 hours. I'm just not hungry. But when I eat, I eat. I don't count calories. I haven't had to, and I still consistently lose weight. And I'm not saying that will work for you. Maybe your metabolism is so slow that counting calories is going to be an important step for you. That is the one thing about the ketogenic diet. You can always tweak it to find that sweet spot. Now, when I get closer to my goal weight, calories might become an issue for me. And when it does, I will cross that bridge when I need to. But as of right now, that is not something that I have to worry about. I do have to track my macros and make sure that my fat isn't over and keep it less. So I'll turn to the fasting. So I fast every day. I gave up eating breakfast a long time ago as a child. Breakfast is not important to me. I am not hungry. So doing 18 to 20 hours of fasting is easy for me. So I just kind of fell into that naturally, and that probably is what helped me in the beginning a lot. So now I also do alternative fasting. Not so much for the weight loss part of it, but for the other benefits, the autophagy, having better skin, and slower aging. I mean, let's be honest, slower aging and stuff like that. So I really get into it for the autophagy benefits, and that's something that I'm going to be doing going forwards. And like I said, I'm going to be sharing weekly with what I'm doing, if I've lost, if I'm not, and we'll go over what I did that was right, or maybe it was time for a period and it made my water weight go up, or maybe I ate something that put on water weight that I didn't realize, and now I realize that I can't have that in my diet. That's the best thing about keto is a total learning experience, and you get to control your body. It teaches you about your body, and there's no reason why you can't do it, because you can tweak keto to keep going. But that was through a lot of trial and error for me. And a lot of people are like, I'm not losing weight. What's wrong? And a lot of them will give up without tweaking. Some of them don't know you can tweak or what tweaks to make. If you need some tweaking, you need some help, reach out to me. I would love to help you. That's why I'm going to be making these weekly updates and other videos of very common keto questions, and I'm going to answer them. And if I can put the research in, I am, but I'm not going to bog you down with a lot of science. I'm going to try to keep keto stupid simple. So, if you want, continue following me, and we'll go through this journey the rest of the way to my goal weight together. Don't forget to like and subscribe.